Well, thank you so much for staying with us. This is the Lunchtime News, and we want to get into the interview session or a segment where I promised you that Sammy Meli will be here to just, unpack for us what happened in Kalou yesterday. Thank you so much, Sammy, for coming into the studio.
Thank you very much.
Asante sana. But even before we get into the nitty-gritty of it, the by-election was, can I say, hotly contested. But what was your take of the whole process?
The Kalou by-election was hotly contested. A lot of resources were used so that the opposition, the other parties, Samuel Mushina, Sami Ngodo, Samuel Mushina, all of them, and this appeared to be a two-horse race between DCP and UDA. But I think the people of Kalou wanted to make a statement, and they wanted to say that they want to choose their own leader without influence, despite the fact that a lot of resources were used there. So the people of Kalou won. It is not about UDA losing or DCP winning. It's the people of Kalou who won. Because I say this because after the winning of Ngodo and being declared the MP elect, I know he'll be sworn perhaps next week, nothing has increased in the households of those people. They just want to see a representative who is going to carry out the legislative agenda for the people of Kalou, a person who is going to oversight the national government, a person who is going to represent them in parliament. We are coming at a time when most parliamentarians, the ones elected, do not actively get involved in debates in the National Assembly. So perhaps they saw a person in Douglas that would go and represent them fully in the National Assembly. And again, we are in a situation whereby in the next 1 year we are having a general election. So the MP elect is in catch-22 situation whereby he might end up choosing to continue campaigning or to work for his people. Remember, the CDF committee, already set up by the late Kiaraho, is still in office and is still carrying out duties that a CDF committee. Many people misunderstand this, the role of a member of parliament in a constituency. And I've said it has only 3 roles: legislation, representation, and oversight. But we cannot forget his influence on the CDF committee. But now we are in a situation whereby the budget has just been read. The CDF committee is perhaps coming up with the work plan for 2026-2027 financial year. They have already come up with a budget, and their allocations are being done for each constituency. So it will
he has a lot in his in-tray, if I may put it that way. He has a lot. His in-tray has then he has a very short time to implement, because like you said, coming from me as a political analyst, that this was the people of Kalou actually speaking. Party politics may be still there, but it's them choosing whom they want. But do you think with the short time that he has to implement some of the things that the people of Kalou expect of him, he's able to achieve, and that can determine whether he is actually re-elected in 2027?
No, he is coming at a very funny moment, whereby the whole nation is in an election mood. The whole nation is in a campaign mood. And if he is not careful, he might be the shortest serving member of parliament, or he could even use this as a stepping stone to re-election next year. His implementation, sometimes you might be allocated funds, but at the end of the day, you don't utilize the same funds. We have seen some constituencies returning funds to the national treasury. So it depends with how fast he is. It depends with how sharp he is in utilizing the resources. And at the end of the day, the people of Kalou will hold him responsible. I heard his speech yesterday, and he was like casting his net in the wider ocean and castigating the president. One thing people forget is that the member of parliament is in no competition with the president. The president is in his own league, and he has a mandate to fulfill. Every insult, every promise, every other thing he did during campaign.
Okay.
Now people will want to see how he implements what...
the mandate that has been given by the people of Ol Kalou. But let's talk about the voter turnout. You know, I'm not so sure, maybe other by-elections, but I think this is just one of them, that I can say the voter turnout was very high. 73,480,000 registered voters, 51% actually, of them turned out to vote. This is not really the norm with by-election. What do you think this statement?
One thing people should understand is Ol Kalou is a rural constituency. So most people are farmers and most likely are found at home. A few could have come to Nairobi or other regions to go and work, and that is why they didn't turn up. But say that turn up of 51% compared to Emuru Dikir, compared to Malava and other places that have had by-elections in the recent past, is an indication on how people take elections seriously. Perhaps the people of Ol Kalou have missed representation since they lost their member of parliament, or they wanted to show that we are mature enough to know our roles as voters. I saw people from hospitals being picked and being taken to vote. That is another indication that the people of Ol Kalou and the larger central take election seriously. If you look at the percentage turnout in other regions compared to the central region of Kenya, central region of Kenya has always come out in large numbers.
But the youth turnout apparently was very low compared to the...
The youth, remember, we used the 2022 voter register. Therefore, the new voters did not have a chance this time to vote. But we will see them in the next election, the general election. And as I said, politics are local. Politics are regional, and politics sometimes become personal in nature.
So, again, what do you think that, I mean, we have the ruling party and then we have the opposition. So this was really a race to determine so much, whether for the ruling party or for the opposition. But do you think like this has actually like strengthened the resolve of the opposition party?
I am saying this has strengthened the resolve of the ruling coalition first, because they have been able to measure what they have, the stakes they have in the central region, and the Nyandarua being perhaps the headquarters of the central region, as Ol Kalou has shown how much the ruling coalition needs to do to entice voters in that region. They are able to know that after all these scuffles between the president and the former deputy president, the president could still garner 5,000 from his for his party. That tells him he has not lost much, and if he works on it, he might recover up to 10% or 15%.
That 35,000 and 5,000, you don't see that as a big gap?
If you look at that, let's assume the 78,000 turned out. The 5,000 would have translated to around 10 or 15,000. That's quite significant. Remember, in a presidential race, you need at least 25% in 24 counties and 50+1 vote in the entire tally. So it's not a must. We have seen Raila Odinga even garnering less than 5% from those regions and could match with the presidential contestants. So it doesn't tell much.
But lessons definitely for the ruling party, like you've said, you know, just trying to look at what the voters really wanted and all that. But at the end of the day, it is the people of Kenya, the people of Kalou, for this matter, who make the decision of what, about what they want, who to lead them and all that. So it is not so much a verdict about the ruling, according to me, or the opposition, but it's what the people of Ol Kalou want. Sami, I want to cut you short because I'm being told to go to the next story. But thank you so much for coming into studios to unpack a little bit about what happened yesterday in as far as the by-election in Ol Kalou is concerned. But maybe give you 2 seconds or 3 seconds, because my director is... What you can say?
What I can say is the people of Kenya should focus more on leaders who can deliver. We have a lot to work on as a country. We have come from very far, and we are still going very far. It is never about communities. It is about Kenya.
It's about the country.
About the Republic of Kenya, and
Indeed.
Therefore we should put in leaders who will deliver for us.
Exactly, and that is what it's all about. It's about leadership that delivers to the people. So thank you so much, Sami Meli, political analyst, just talking to us about the happenings yesterday, the by-election in Kalou, where Sami Douglas Kamau was declared the winner with 35,440 votes, and definitely Samuel Mushina coming a second with 5,450 votes. So we will be following up for you what's happening there in Kalou.